IconiCrafts. Now, listen, IconiCon is almost here. So I wanted to do something that kind of like gets you a little bit excited because this year's theme kind of like leans towards like the video game stuff, right? So I wanted to actually teach y'all how to do pixel art. Some of you might have already done pixel art before, but for those who haven't, maybe this is a new experience for you. So inside your kit, right, there should be some graph paper. Should be about 4 sheets of graph paper. We'll have a small plastic bag, an assortment of crayons, and a pencil. And a few different pixel art reference sheets. One of them being our 16 by 16 pixel reference sheet. Our 16 by 24 pixel reference sheet. And then an assortment of other different reference sheets for pixel art. So we have some from various different video game franchises that some of you may have heard of it or not, such as Final Fantasy, The Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, Mega Man, Pac-Man, Legend of Zelda again, and Mario, Final Fantasy, and Metroid. Now, mind you, Suffolk Public Library doesn't own any of these things, right? Like, the copyright very much so for Nintendo, Square Enix, and the respective brands and such, all right? We're just borrowing it for the sake of doing our project, okay? So, let's get started. Alrighty, so pixel art can be a little intimidating at first. At least it was for me, because it's like, you want me to do what with tiny squares? You can make a lot of beautiful artwork with pixel art. And the way that we break it down is kind of like, oh, well, trust the process, take your time. And it's more about numbers and placement more than it is of like creating the vision. Now, mind you, it's easy for us to say that since we're going to be utilizing the art form to kind of recreate what we have in front of us on the reference sheets. When you actually start working with pixel art from your imagination, after you learn the techniques, it's up to you to create something, right? So let's start with our graph paper. Our graph paper is right here, right? What we're going to do is we're going to use our 16 by 16 pixel reference sheet, okay? Now, when it says 16 by 16, that is how many squares that we're going to be marking off. So take your pencil, let me get that pencil, and wherever on the page, it's fine. I'm going to start up in the corner because I want to make sure I have room to do more. And darken up a portion of the square that you choose. Then count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. On the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And there, see that? You've got your area that you're going to be working with. This. Now, the next thing is looking at the reference sheet. Now that you have your 16 by 16, what we're going to do is work on the outline of this character. This character's name is Bartz. He's from the game Final Fantasy V for the Super Nintendo, originally released in Japan only, and then re-released for the Game Boy Advance a few years later. Okay? So, what we're going to be doing is counting to see where we have to begin for Bartz's pixel art. So, we've got it together right here, and we're going to be working on the top part. You don't even have to use the black crayon yet. I want you to mark it out with your pencil. I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? So, this is the very top portion of our spot, just like up here. So let's start with our first square. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at square 6, that's where we're going to start with bars, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scribble, like so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these squares are going to be scribbled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. And then you just continue doing the outlines. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 on the inside. 1, 2. You just keep making sure that you get all the areas that are in black done with your pencil. And be careful. That's why we have our pencil, just in case you just, like, you know, we're human, we make mistakes. It is what it is. This one's a little tricky. Brown and then black. Black. Good. For this one, I didn't really want to do like a super fast video. I wanted this to be kind of like a together thing, because it takes some focus and it can be tricky later on. But once you start getting it, you can feel free to skip ahead if you like. Let's just continue the flow, because I don't have a pattern. I'm just following the guide. There we go. Like so. It can be seen as tedious after a little while, but there's a reason for it. The reason why I wanted you all to practice the 16 by 16 first is because this teaches you how pixel art is based off of measurement and numbers. You don't feel as intimidated, just like, oh man, I have to do what? You know, having a guide really, really helps. It teaches you what you need to do. Because once you understand that pixel art is just counting squares, you can have the freedom to do a lot of different artwork. A lot of different stuff. Some of your favorite pixel art you can mimic. Some of them, you know, takes time, but you'll be able to do it. Some pixel art masterpieces are hundreds and thousands of pixels. But don't worry, we're not going to be getting into that like that. You all can do that if you want. You don't see it too much in, like, modern AAA video games too much now. But there was a time where pixel art was just the only way you could do things. It was technical limitation. But if you look, some indie developer games still stick with that pixel art technique, because there's a charm to it. It is, after all, an art form. I think after this is our outline completely, right? Yes, I think that is true. Yeah, this is our outline. Yes, there we go. Our whole outline like so. We've got our buddy right here. Now, looking at it from a distance, you can kind of see what we're going for, right? However, when you look really, really, really close at it, it becomes to get more and more fuzzy. It's just like, those are just squares, Mr. Cohen. Yeah, well, It's our outline. It's important. So now that we've got our outline, it's time to add a little bit of color. So, or darkening up and shading. So we'll get started with that. All right, now so for our coloring, go ahead and get your packet of crayons like so. And what I want you to do is I want you to get your black crayon first. Okay? What we're going to be doing is we're going to darken up what we have already. Alright? Nice thing is you don't necessarily have to go from square to square individually and darken it up. You can just color. It's very important to do this part, right? Having an excess of negative space in each of the squares harms the readability of your pixel art. So whenever you can, make the squares filled in with color whenever you can. It helps a great deal. And it's nice we have our pencil guidelines. The pencil kind of helps us be able to have that map, you know? Ideally, I would have given you all, like, colored pencils or markers, but the colored pencil packets only have so much variety of colors, like the small ones that we can put in the kits. But the crayons, we have a multitude of various colors. And for someone like Bart's, who already has like a variation of colors, like different shades of green, like so, or everything, different shades of brown, it's important to have a variety of colors. And still, I'm not able to give you every kind of variety, but you should have enough. And if you have some things at home, you can feel free to use those as well. Those individual squares, man, they make your fingers tired. For sure. We suffer for our art. Can you imagine these people who made these video games and they had to start from scratch? You know what I'm saying? They had to come up with all this stuff. We're grateful for them because we can use their guidance as a map. Yeah, that works your hands pretty hard. All right. Color it in like that. So looks good right here. Yep. Yep. And our last square, I think. Very good. Now you see, it looks a little bit more like what we have right here, especially with it darkened up. Now you kind of see where the colors are really going to go. So feel free to get off the shavings and such. And then we're going to start with our coloring. All right, on to the coloring. So I usually like starting with the hair. So go ahead and get your brown. And I'd recommend getting the orange. The orange we'll use for the lighter parts of the hair, and the brown we'll use for the darker parts. So find which one. So we got here. So we're going to fill in. Comes all the way up to this one. I'm just going to try to just do all the brown, and then I'll make my way over to the orange. It's actually kind of nice, a little therapeutic, this one. we go. You can actually do a lot of this stuff with, if you've ever heard of perler beads. Perler beads are actually a pretty cool way to do pixel art. And you can have it like as a physical thing that you can hold, take with you. I've had a few of my friends give me some perler bead pixel art. And then we'll start with the oranger. The orange even let the shine in his hair, you know. It's okay if you blend a little bit. Alright. There we go. We got Bart's hair. Alright, now next we're going to do the skin tone. And I recommend doing either the yellow or the red orange. I'm going to use the yellow. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have a combination. So, Bart's has a little bit of shading in a skin tone right here. What I'll do is I'll use the red orange for the shading. Use the red orange for the shading, yellow for the skin. Here we go. We didn't have like peach or anything like that, you know. So, this one right here. Then this one right here. I think that's it for that. Yep, and then we'll do the red orange. Yep. There we go. Then, actually, we had a little bit right here, so we're going to make sure we tend to that. At about, where? 1, 2, 3. So, not these, but these up here. Delete that. Yeah, and I think that's our skin tone. So now, we're going to work on the blue, so his outfit here. And you see, we have light blue and dark blue. So what I'm going to do is for the majority, it will definitely be blue for like the darker areas. I'm going to use blue, but for the purple, I'll use it for the lighter stuff, even though the purple is technically lighter than the blue. But that's just what I'm going to choose. You can do what you'd like. This is what I'm going to choose. Okay. There we go. Like so. Is there more blue? Yes, there is. Underneath the green up here. Before. Alrighty. Alright, and then we'll start with the purple. You can have it lighter if you'd like to mimic the lightness of the original intended blue. There we go. Okay. I think that's all the light blue. So now we're going to work with our green. We're going to work with our green. Now I know that there's two shades of green. I know for a fact. So what I'm going to do for the darker greens, I'm going to focus on what we have. And then for the lighter green, I'm going to make it really light like so. But still make sure it's filled in. There we go. And I think we have our version of Bart's, like so. Now this is the sprite that would be used for when you're on the map, when you're on the overworld and stuff, not when you're in battle. So this is our 16 by 16 frame. Now you can use the 16 by 16 frame to do our other things that we have in our reference sheet, right? For example, the mushroom right here. You can use a 16 by 16 to make the mushroom. If you like. You don't necessarily have to. Because we're actually going to talk about that next. So I will see you all soon. Alright, well excellent. You all did a fantastic job with that. Now you have a bunch of different items from different video games, such as this one, and characters from video games, like Mr. Link right here. We're going to do the mushroom real quick. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm going to show you that you can still do this even if you don't mark out the 16 by 16 area, okay? You can still do whatever you'd like. It's just a matter of finding the pixels and where you'd like to start. So, making sure that you count this grid right here. Let's count. Let's see how many we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We got 18 down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's a 16 by 18, or 18 by 16, what have you. We're going to make sure that we have that amount of room before we start the mushroom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We know there, and we know there. Then we just need to count across, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay? And that's all we really need. That's all we really need to know. And so now, it's the same thing just like what we did with Bart's, right? We just got to find out where it starts, really. So this whole top row, just like up here, is blank. It doesn't start till the second row, so we got to count. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It also starts 6 in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where we start. Well, let's count to see how many we got to darken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, just like Bart's. So 6 across. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And we just got to continue counting down. So I'm going to put this up here. Like so. So I can use that as a reference. maybe I'll put it off to the side. Yeah, this is a little bit better for me. A lot better for me, actually. So, alright. Okay, 2 here, 1 diagonal down. Then diagonal again, and then we come down 2. Okay, diagonal down one more time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then 1 diagonal in, and then there's 2 more that come across. 1, 2 down from the middle, diagonal in, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Very nice. Diagonal up, diagonal up. 2, 3, 1 in, 1 out, diagonal up, inward. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very nice. Back over here. Diagonal up. So 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Diagonal up. In 2. Diagonal up. 1. Diagonal up. 1, 2. And then for the eyes for the mushroom, we come down after 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, down 1, down 2, 1, 2, 3, down 1, down 2. And there we have our basic mushroom, our Super Mario Brothers mushroom. Yes. Now, like I said, I'm not going to finish doing the coloring and everything. That's your job. But I want you to know that what we did up here with Bart's and what we did up here with our mushroom is the basics of what you need to do every one of these reference sheets. And even if, you see, look, Samus doesn't necessarily have grid lines to follow, but you can tell that these are individual pixels, like so. These pixels are okay as a measurement tool, as long as you go by them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can use your imagination. Like 1, right about here, 2, 3. As long as you have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 32. As long as you have 32 pixels coming down, and however wide, you can do Samus. You just have to be patient and find your marks. But thank you so much for being willing to pick up these kits and to do this, and we look forward to seeing you at IconiCon, once again, Saturday, April 22nd, from 10 o'clock to 3. We've got a little retro arcade going on where you can play some older video games from like older consoles. You can do a Nerd Family Feud. You've got the Super Smash Brothers tournament for beginners and advanced players. And we have the cosplay contest as well. So feel free to come on in, stop on by, and thanks so much. We'll see you. Bye. And you did a fantastic job.